Hey, what's going on, guys? Now, this episode made me think, and it made me think a lot. Is Medhuham really a bad guy? Is he that much of a bad guy? I mean, he took two hits from Netero's 100 bitch slapping golden statue, and he still wants to sit down and settle things with words. And he even says something kind of weird for his character. Komugi really has changed him. He says that he realized that power is not to just straight up dominate, but to protect the weak, which is a very noble cause, but he admits that his methods are crazy. He said there will be carnage, but in the end, there will be equality overall. So basically, he's saying, yeah, about 100,000 people will die, but that's just to make them afraid of me so they'll do whatever the fuck I want. Now, I understand that he wants to protect humans like Komugi, and he even said that Netero deserves to live. You really have to admire that change. When he was first born, he wanted to dominate everything. He didn't give a fuck about humans. As a matter of fact, he pretty much wanted to exterminate them all. But this one little girl, well, this one woman, I should say, Komugi, she changed his nature. She changed his instincts. You know how hard it is to train an animal, to think anything other than what their instincts are telling them to think. The bond between Komugi and the king is a very, very powerful thing. Like I said, it changed his natural born instincts to rule and dominate over everything. It changed from that to wanting to protect the weak. Now, I have never ever disagreed with Netero, but maybe he is wrong this time. He sees this guy, even though he's not a human, he even says that he has to attack now before his heart is wavered, before he actually listens to the king. In my opinion, he should have sat down and hear what the king had to say, but instead he is blackmailing the king to find out who he really is. Like, he basically says, if you defeat me, I will tell you who you really are. I will tell you your name, which is the only thing that motivated the king to get up and attack Netero, because that's what he wants to know, more than anything, who he really is. And in my opinion, I think it's pretty dirty that Netero did that, even if there was no saving the king, and if the king still wanted to go through with this huge massacre before he becomes the ruler. Maybe he could have sat down with Netero, and maybe Netero could have persuaded Meruem just how Komugi did. Although I know Netero did come there to destroy the ants, I mean, this guy is literally taking hits from one of your strongest attacks. This attack would have annihilated pretty much anyone else in the series, but this guy has endured them, and he's still sitting down wanting to settle things with words, trying to come to some sort of an agreement. So that is a big development from Meruem's original behavior when he was first born. So Netero, he could have at least heard him out, or they could have exchanged words, but Netero just wants to hurry up and destroy them, which I believe Netero is going to be the one to die from this. He may kill Meruem along with him, but I have the strangest feeling Netero is either going to die or he's going to get hurt and beat up pretty badly. But man, I'm not exactly sure why, but Meruem did not seem like the bad guy in this episode. Netero using blackmail to get him to fight was more of the bad guy in this episode. Although I understand this is not the case overall, Meruem seemed like he's maturing and he's becoming more human than animal. Like I said, the king has a very noble cause. He wants to protect the weak and basically destroy the strong and the more fortunate. And if Netero could have sat down to persuade Meruem to not destroy the powerful, but to just give to the weak so everyone could be equal that way, instead of, murdering all of the strong and powerful people in the world, then Meruem could have been a valuable ally. Another action by Netero that I disliked this episode was him saying that ants and humans could never get along. I mean, there are some good ants like Ikago, Beliron, the guy, I forgot his name, the one who got eaten trying to protect his sister, that guy. And for him to be such a god pretty much in the hunter world, for him to be so obsessed with peace and being this tranquil old wise man, that was pretty assholish for him to even think, because he doesn't know about the Cargo and Maliron and all the other ants that are doing, good, that are helping the humans. So, like I said, I believe he should have sat down and at least tried to talk things out with Meduam before he decided, hey, this is what I need to do. I need to kill this guy right now. Although we may not have gotten a fight, because I'm pretty sure this fight is going to be damn near God level awesomeness. I still think that's kind of out of character for Netero to not even give someone else a chance, human or not. But I do understand where he's coming from. He said that basically Meduam was about to touch his heart and he wouldn't have the will to fight anymore. And say if the conversation didn't go well, if Meduam is still bent on killing these thousands of people before he does protect the weak, and Netero has lost the will to fight him, then that's over, because as far as we know now, Netero is the only one that can deal with Meduam, or that can even put a scratch on him. He drew blood from Meduam. The only person to draw blood from him was himself when he ripped off his own arm. So I guess it is safer for Netero to try to get rid of Meduam, but I mean, I really cannot shake the feeling that things could turn out different. Even though I don't know what the turnout is going to be yet, things could turn out better for Meduam and Netero if they had just sat down and talked, because Meduam had no intention of fighting until Netero blackmailed him. Even though I doubt it will happen, I'm crossing my fingers that there will be some type of fight within the Royal Guard themselves, because the fact that Poof is testing Yuppie, another Royal Guard, is telling us that Poof doesn't really trust the other two. He doesn't trust Picho or Yuppie to an extent. So there may be something that happens that sparks a fight between maybe either Yuppie and Poof or all of them. But even though I don't think the King and Netero should have just jumped straight into settling things with their fists, the ending, man, it got me fucking hyped. How Meduam moved his hands before the purple aura surrounded him just reminded me of what Netero was just doing. So Meduam is probably as fast as Netero, and this is about to be fucking awesome. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. Do you think Meduam is such a bad guy? I mean, technically he is the evil person here, but he is being changed little by little, and I believe if he had more time with Komugi, then he could be converted, because it's a big step to want to rule over everything and kill all the humans, to wanting to protect the weak humans. So that like I said, that's a big development on his part. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. This has been JB the Chia. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.